Why have I gone silent on YouTube? Hi guys, this is Diane of Minimize to Maximize, where we learn and encourage each other to minimize clutter and to maximize life's fulfillment. And so I haven't been publishing any YouTube video in a few weeks. I haven't even been creating anything content wise. And that is basically because my plate has been full. And this channel requires a level of time and creativity that I really did not feel I had. And so there were 5 reasons really why I was not in a space at all to be filming like I am today. So to be able to create anything, you might have discovered that for yourself, but it's also valid for creating videos. I need time to be alone. I need time that is uninterrupted, and I need some space and some thinking needs to happen to come up with ideas that I can write down and structure, and then the time to film without nobody coming in and out of my home, and the time to upload everything, which actually does take a lot of time. So my plate was full. I couldn't do any of it, and that's because I had 5 things going on. Number one is work. I got a new position for the same company, but everything almost is new about it. It's a new position with new responsibilities, with a new supervisor, a new team, a new location, and a lot of new deliverables and tasks that I have never done before. What is not new about it is the skills. I already have the skills, so I don't need to learn any new skill, but I do need to learn new processes and things that need to be done and the timeline of things. And so learning does take a lot of brain, mental, and also emotional power. And so that got a little full up here. But it's all good, and it's a change that I was looking forward to, and I am glad it is happening. So, but it's still a transition. I'm doing well in this transition, but there are still more things to learn. So, plate getting a little more full than having a routine, a job that you've done for years and that you know by heart. So, that's pretty normal when you have something like a new endeavor. There is learning in the process that happens. Number 2 is that I do have a couple of self-employment activities also that have occupied my time, energy, physically, and mentally. And so one of the things is that I manage and operate an Airbnb cabin. And right now in the Southern Californian mountains, it is the winter and the ski resort is operating. And so we have a large number of guests to take care of. And so it's a lot more work. And so basically all my weekends in the wintertime have been focused on managing the guests, but also, unfortunately, being part of cleaning the cabin. And that's because of the fact that the market has shifted in my area. We did not have a lot of snow, and so we've had to drop the price of the the price per night for a stay at the cabin. So we need to work more to make the same amount of income we did in previous winters. So it's been a little unfortunate that we've had to work more, me and my husband, but yeah, we do that as a family. We've had to work more to try to bring in the same kind of income. So that's been a little bit challenging to do. Another self-employment work that I have is my part-time business where I help people declutter and organize their home. It is projects-based and in my local area in Southern California, and I really, really love it. But it does take a lot of physical energy and also mental energy, because in my role with my clients, I do use a lot of life coaching techniques when they have a challenging time to let go of certain objects from attachment and fears that are really, really old fears that have nothing to do necessarily with the object itself. So it does require a level of presence and focus that is demanding at times. And so, yeah, played full. So these two work career related things alone are kind of a lot, but that's not all. So number 3, I would say, is taking care of being present for the emotional needs of others. I think that a lot of mothers can relate to that. It has been my experience witnessing and talking with other parents is that mothers are usually the emotional support for their children, and sometimes even for their husbands. I do not need to be the strong emotional support for my husband because he is pretty well-grounded, but still, that is something I want to do if he needs the emotional support. But for children, children are not necessarily always emotionally strong and resilient and capable to process their own feelings. And so my son comes home from school, he has things he needs to process, and he also has things he needs to process when us as parents have guidelines and boundaries that he wants to cross several times. So the difficulty of being a parent or an involved parent is to have this balance, if you will, between being kind and warm and giving, and also having some boundaries and being firm around what's okay and what is not okay. And that is not very easy. And it requires some time and focus and presence and some inner space to be able to do that and to be this calming presence to our children. And that's a big emotional responsibility. That requires us to be open and also to be feeling spacious and receptive. Otherwise, if you feel full as a parent, you have so much going on, you're stressed out, you rush from this place to that place. What happens when your kids have a little tantrum or like an emotional reactivity that you do not appreciate, or they're in the mood, or they snap back? Well, what happens is that you as a parent, you also react and things get worse. So being the emotional support of children is a big thing, and it is a responsibility that I am more than happy to take on. But sometimes it feels like too much. Okay. So, and it does not make me a bad parent. It just shows me that there are things that I need to declutter and simplify in my life so that I can focus on what's really important to me. And being emotionally present to the people I love in my life is very important to me. Oh, and in terms of talking about emotionally supporting other people, I also have a very dear friend in my life who is going through a very rough time and has been for a few months. And so, being this friend um, who is there to listen and empathize and just be there by her side is also something important to me. But it does mean I am receiving, um, you know, a person who is in distress. And it's not very easy to receive a person that is in distress and has been in distress for a long time. You may have people you know in your life who are feeling depressed, who have lost um, a dear one and they're mourning, or they are potentially losing the custody of their children, or things of like very, very big importance in their life. And if you're a human being who care, you will feel affected. And that is absolutely okay with me. But just realizing that it is something to balance out in one's life is very important. So that was three things. The fourth thing that has um, been a reason for why I've gone silent on YouTube is that I had emotional needs of my own after a clash or discord with a friend that I've had for 20 plus years, a very long time friend. And in all this friendship time, this was only the second time that we got mad with each other. And I'm the one who reacted first from a trigger. So coming from her. And it took me days to process why it affected me so bad, why it hurt so deep, what is it that was so painful in a situation for me that I shut down and that I needed to distance myself and mull over things and really get to the bottom of what needs of mine had not been met in that situation. And in the meantime, one of the things that I did when I got hurt and angry and offended and sad is that I reacted in that state, and that created a trigger and for her. And so we had the snowball effect of like, I got upset and then she got upset, and the relationship had gone to the point where wanting to communicate and keep on connecting was at stake. And so that's a dangerous place to be at when neither person wants to engage. And so it took some time, emotional, mental time to process all of this. And of course, to realize on my end that the needs that had not been met were actually very old needs coming from very old wounds from childhood. And others, and my friend just happened to trigger it. And so that is something I need to recognize and to express and to explain. And there was more going on, but like heartfelt conversation or communication did end up breaking the resentment and the need for defending ourselves and putting barriers all around us. And so I'm glad to say that the problem got resolved. And not only that, I think that the conflict actually helped to deepen the understanding of one another, and also to create a deeper connection and bond. And I don't see arguments, as long as it don't happen too often, and reactivity to be an issue, but to be a tool to go deeper into the true root causes, all the needs that are not being met in the situation, and to understand that um, the cause is usually much deeper than initially thought of. And there is an opportunity for healing, an opportunity for reconnecting, and an opportunity for greater empathy and compassion for one another. But all of this did cause some emotional fullness once again. And so it leads me to reason number 5. With all these things going on, work, family, friendship going on, it led to my health not being so good. I was feeling very tired, fatigued, lack of motivation, pains and aches in my body, in my spine, in my gut, and all of these I have discovered in my life are symptoms of things that need to be decluttered, but not just in terms of objects, like deeper things that need to be decluttered. And so when I went to my chiropractor, because I've had back pain for 2.5 months, that does not go away, despite the many chiropractic adjustments I've had. He did muscle testing on me. And if you don't know what muscle testing is, it is when you apply pressure to a part of the body. And if your body is strong, it will offer resistance and strength. If your body is weak, it will show as well. So it usually shows up as like you have your arm out, and the person who does the muscle testing different organs, different parts of your body. If there's any weakness, your arm will automatically drop. And it's been fascinating. I love muscle testing. It's taught me so much about my own body. And so my chiropractor said, hey, Diane, your ligaments are not working. So whatever chiropractic adjustment we are doing is not going to hold. And that's because your adrenals are very overtaxed. And you need 2 things. You need more sleep, and you need to do less. So that was a good message to receive. Basically, the reason why my adrenals have been taxed is because, yes, I did not have proper sleep, and I've known this for a while because I worked evenings, and I would get home sometimes after midnight, 1 o'clock, not being able to go to sleep until 2 a.m. and having to wake up the next day to take care of my kid and start the day. And so I knew that this was an issue, and eventually my adrenals are telling me, you got to change. So thankfully, this is what has been the priority for me. It's been to prioritize sleep, and thanks to the new job, the new responsibility, I get to go to bed at a very good time. So by the time it's like 9:30, I am lying down in my bed with a book, and I'm unwinding, so I get to go to sleep early. And that is a wonderful thing. I feel so much better that I get to go to sleep at a decent time, and I can have a circadian rhythm again, follow the cycle of the sun rising and going down. And that has been really helpful. It might take me weeks or months until I get my circadian rhythm back to what it's supposed to be. Um, and what would be beneficial for my adrenal glands, for my ligaments, for feeling energized in general. So very happy about that, and that's thanks to my new job. And also another important change that is happening is that this Airbnb operation that I was telling you about is being transitioned to a long-term rental, and I'm going to have a property manager deal with it so that it is off my plate. Saying no to certain things is part of the decluttering mindset and simplifying our lives. And this is something that I needed to do for me and my family and create the level of health and vibrancy and spaciousness that I want to have for the most important things in my life. Exercise and movement is also very important. I am not going to do a rigid exercise routine, but I do want to move, and for me, walking and hiking and dancing are my favorite things in terms of moving my body. But I don't want to overtax it because I am still tired and I need my body to reset fully so that I can add more things into my life. And this will lead me eventually to being able to produce more videos on this YouTube channel, which is a passion project for me, to share the message and that we don't need all the stuff. What we do need is to take good care of ourselves and good care of other human beings that are important to us in our lives, being involved in our community, doing good, having productive work that is helpful to us, to the planet, taking care of our animals, taking care of the nature around us. All of these things are very important to me, and that might be very important to you. And so when we say no to excess of objects, excess of commitments, excess of activities, then we feel imbalanced and sometimes overwhelmed, and that has definitely been my case. It is a part of life. It is a season of my life right now. I am a mom. I am actively working. I have a business. And I do also want to nourish friendships and family relationships in general. So it is going to be a busier season of my life than it is going to be when I am retired. When I'll be retired, I will have different things that I will want to focus on. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We're changing all the time. I am changing, but what I do wanted to share with you is that this transition has been a good one, and it is not finished. I'm still working on it, and I would like to thank you all for checking in, and hopefully you can relate to some of the challenges that I've had lately. We are human after all, and please share your own experience, what it is you are decluttering in your life, whether it's a habit, an emotion, a mental process, an activity, an object. Share with the community in the comments, and feel free to share this video with people in your community. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.